Layla,
Hi, Brian.
it's good to see you today.
I missed you.
Happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day.
And it's a big deal because we made a big decision.
Yes, we did.
What did we decide, Layla?
You guys, we're going to unmask.
We're going to take the mask off.
I think it's time.
Why do you think it's time right now to take the mask off?
Well, first, I think it's really funny because we have been talking about more recently, the last couple of months, about, being our most authentic selves and really trying to encourage our listeners and viewers to be their most authentic selves and stop hiding in the darkness, things like that. And we're talking about dating apps and how people are blurring their faces or not showing their faces. And we're like, oh, what idiots. And then people in the comments are like, you're wearing a mask, right? I'm like, oh, I forgot. So I'm really proud of the content that we've been putting out lately. And I think that I am at a time in my life, and I think that you are too, where I'm just ready.
There's that, and then we're just like the content is not overtly sexual, really.
Right.
There's like we have to blurt words and things like that, but we're not really talking about our own sexual life. We're talking about open-mindedness. We end up talking about mental health and coaching and relationships and stuff like that. We're having some entrepreneurs on soon that are building incredible products. So it is becoming a lot less about going to play parties and more expansive. And there's not a real reason. Also, we decided that for the spicy content that Instagram and TikTok won't let us post anyway, we should just stop trying to post that on social and put that in a Discord channel.
Yeah.
So that's a big shift too, is starting a Discord channel. We debated between Discord and Patreon for a little bit.
Right.
But a place where we could have that content that people love and a place where we feel like we can be ourselves. And from that standpoint, we don't need the mask. And in there, we're going to have the mask off already.
Right. So if you go right now, as we speak, you can go to our Discord and you can see us with our masks off.
Right. So check the show notes or check the link tree and you'll be able to see some spicy content. There's some stuff we're going to get into in this episode that we're not going to talk about. It won't be on YouTube.
It won't work.
And won't be on social.
I'm tired of being censored. I'm tired of being banned. Our Instagram got shut down. We appealed it for the billionth time. I thought it was dead and done. They gave it back to us, but I'm tired of living in this fucking censorship, in this fear. So we're just going to post it all on Discord. So
That's
go there.
the thing. Free speech is a right, but Instagram isn't a right. That's how it goes. So yeah, and today, and it's so funny, is like there's this censorship that we feel, even as Hollywood is taking ENM and swinger and BDSM themes and using it in their shows. And people are loving it and consuming it like crazy, but then it's not good enough for the filters on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok.
Right.
And the hypocrisy in it is infuriating.
Right.
Infuriating. Now, I watch these shows, and what I have found out is that Layla has not been watching these shows.
No.
And so I thought it might be fun to show her some clips totally taken out of context. I'm going to do my best to build some context around the scene, then show Layla the scene. We'll clip it in so you can see it too if you haven't seen it. But the two shows, and I can grab a bunch, but the two that I'm grabbing are from White Lotus, season 3, on Max. And then there's a show on Hulu called Dying for Sex. If you haven't watched those, massive spoiler alert right now that I'm going to grab some clips from them. I'm not going to give the entire episode away or the entire season away, but we are going to show some clips right now. So you have been warned, all right? You have been warned. And now, Layla, just to be clear, you haven't seen either of those.
No, I don't even know their genre.
Let's just hop in. You don't know their genre. So the first one I'm going to get into is White Lotus. What do you know about White Lotus as a show in general, though?
I think Jennifer Coolidge is in it.
She was in seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
Correct.
I know that it's the same actors, but they are playing different people in different roles in different seasons, kind of like American Horror Story.
Incorrect.
Okay.
For the most part, they're completely different actors. There's been through line. There's been like Jennifer Coolidge was in season 1 and 2. And then in season 3, they brought back someone from season 1 to be kind of the connector of the dots. But in general, the whole cast is new.
Oh.
Okay.
And different storylines, different everything.
Different storylines. You could jump into season 3, never having watched season 1, and you'll be fine.
The guy who made it was on Survivor.
As a contestant?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
all right.
That's one thing I do know.
I guess I did ask you what you know about it.
Yeah, that's what I know.
You are throwing random useless facts about it. But that's good to know.
Yeah,
Thank
Jeff,
you.
pick me.
Okay, so for the first clip I want to show you, just to paint some color, there is a a girlfriend of a really rich guy who is she's kind of like a gold digger. Like she knows she's dating a rich guy, wants to stay comfortable, but she also wants to live her wild self still. And she's kind of struggling with that. And so they are in Thailand.
Mhm.
And do you know what the full moon party is in Thailand?
No,
Never heard of the full moon party.
no.
God, they do not sponsor us, but I will talk about it. It is a party that happens once a month on this one island in this one beach on this one island in Thailand. And it is an all-night rave on the beach. And tens of thousands of people go. It's this one small beach. When you look it up, and it's glowing lights, fire dancers.
Ooh.
It is a massive party, and people will go to Thailand and they'll book their trip around the time that, like, when the full moon is out, there's an all-night party on the beach. Okay.
Fun.
And so she takes his yacht. Again, spoiler alert, people, I told you. They take his yacht, massive yacht, to the full moon party. So she takes his yacht along with a girl she met at the hotel and these two guys she met at the hotel to the full moon party. They grab some drugs, and then this scene picks it up where things starts getting a little wild on the yacht on the way back. All
Okay.
right. And so we're gonna watch this from the lens of like, how accurate do we think this is in terms of how things go down? So you can press play. Press
And accurate in regard to like how lifestyle people might
lifestyle, like how
do it. Okay.
how ORGYSs start going down. What are they doing right now? You can describe it to me.
The girls just started making out.
The girls are making out.
They
okay.
were. Now they're just like chilling and being cute. Now she's going, come here.
To one of the boys.
Uh-huh. So far.
What happened?
Pretty
Did
accurate.
the boy make out with the girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now they're high-fiving.
What's happening now?
Now the guys are making out. Or no, they just kissed.
The guys kissed.
They just, and now they're really kissing. Cute.
Is it cute?
Yeah, of course it's cute.
Why is it cute?
Because it's just boys just being like, let's kiss, let's feel good, let's just like, who cares?
All right. So they're setting up like basically a bisexual situation, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, how accurate on a scale of 1 to 10, how accurate would you think that is?
10.
That's a 10.
Right? Do you agree?
In terms of them setting up
Yeah.
a bisexual things don't happen that often.
Right. Well,
But-
I wouldn't say that either.
Well, they're not as common.
In our space, I mean, with men.
With men,
Okay.
yeah, with men.
Okay. With men, probably not as often, but when it does happen, I would say that like most of the women are like, "That's fucking hot. Good for you for like experimenting and exploring."
But even in movies, it doesn't happen that often. I think the only
No.
other time I've seen it was in that movie Challengers with Zendaya. There's a scene where that happens.
I haven't seen it.
You
I've
haven't
seen
seen
no
that
movies
either.
ever.
I gotta send you that clip too. Then.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now you ready for the spoiler bomb drop?
Okay.
Okay. In the show,
Uh-huh.
those guys are brothers.
Oh no.
How
they're
do-
brothers.
They're brothers. Yeah.
Well,
How does that change your? How does that change your depict? Like the
It just like wasn't what I expected. Okay. Oh.
And it's funny because I was like, man, the depiction is right, and like White Lotus throws
See, that's annoying.
wrenches on stuff like
I'm
that.
annoyed. Can I tell you why?
Yeah, tell me.
I'm annoyed because I think that the depiction of like how they're showing, maybe a tiny little play event occurring. I was like, that's pretty natural. There's some drinking and touching and like, you come over here. No, you can, now you guys kiss. No. And it's like, oh, that's cute. And then, oh, but they're brothers. And so it kind of almost paints it in a light that's more taboo than it's already being perceived just in general as just like a play event.
For sure, it's a fun clip, but it's like, no, we only know a couple of siblings, I think, in the scene, and I know that they would never get like they won't even.
They don't even play in the same room.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's no drug or substance I could take that would make me do that would have me do that.
No.
I've never been that far gone in my life.
I don't like that. I don't like that. And I feel like that's becoming a theme in Hollywood in general, right? Like this incest thing is becoming, I might cut all this. I'm just like fucking annoyed because first of all, Game of Thrones, that's one thing because that was a long time ago. It was a different age, like a different era, all that, whatever. But they did that with the Menendez brothers.
Yep, they got a little weird in that.
Yeah.
You're right, dude. They were like in the shower together and shit. Yeah.
Right. It's almost like they're like, okay, like we're going to play with some lifestyle stuff, but we're going to make it like even weirder, like give you guys an even more taboo look at like what lifestyle can look like. I feel like it's just kind of making us look bad, but
it sucks because I feel like that got really close and then they had to make it more taboo.
That's why I'm
mad.
To
align with what people think about, what they think people think about.
Right. They were so close.
Uh-huh. No, I think it's fair to be mad. So you were at a 10 before I told you that. Yeah. What are you at now?
1. What the fuck? Like, because you're right. We do know siblings that will like, that are in the space together, but that never fucking happens. So yeah, no, I'm annoyed. Way to ruin my day.
Wow, that's the first clip. I have like 3 or 4. I have 3 or 4 of them. I even have a bonus scene.
I'm just mad that the media isn't portraying who we really are. And that's why when Vanessa came on and Playboy finally does an article about like what the lifestyle actually fucking looks like, it's not being accurately portrayed in any media, in any of the reality TV shows that are out that are about polyamory or non-monogamy or like things like that. Like nothing is portraying what this is really like. And so people don't know where to start. They don't know what's healthy and how this looks.
Okay, but all right, my devil's advocate of this is, does Hollywood though portray anything the way it's really like? Look, I don't think that Silicon Valley was an accurate depiction of startups. I think it took things that it wanted to, took things from startups and it wanted to make fun at it, you know, and like make them bigger than they were. When I watch shows that ER, I don't think ER is a proper depiction of what it's like to be an ER doctor. It's that like it's so funny because I'm aging myself because I just said ER instead of Grey's Anatomy or something else. But if you look back at the cast of ER, just they were. And I was a kid watching it. I didn't realize they were hotter than go to your local hospital and then pull up the Wikipedia page for ER, and they just don't look the same.
Right.
There are some doctors. There are some of you that are beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
They're in our crew
and attractive, but they take everything and they kind of amp it up. And so I think they're doing the same thing.
They don't have to amp this up though. Our lifestyle is already so fascinating and interesting that like they really don't need to add that extra element that's going to make people's stomach turn.
They don't.
I'm annoyed.
They don't.
Okay.
All right. Cool. So you gave that a 1.
Yeah, stupid.
She went from a 10 to 1. That one detail took it down to 1. Siblings would never.
Like, I'm not here to kink shame, but like I just wasn't expecting it. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, all right. So now moving forward. All right. Again, spoiler alert. So they ended up hooking up that night.
The brothers.
And one of the girls. Okay. And then she had to tell her partner about it, the older guy. And initially he was pissed off, but then it did actually open up like a cuckold kind of like kink for him.
Okay.
Right. And so this next scene I'm going to show you is when she has just finished explaining to one of the boys and the other girl what the kink is. And now she's about to ask him for a favor. Okay.
She's asking her partner.
She's asking the boy.
The boy.
One of the older brothers. The older brothers for a favor. So I want you to press play on this one.
So, what do you think?
Just embrace it's okay.
I know. I don't know what's stressing
About what?
Helping Gary.
Gary's the husband.
Helping Gary how?
While staying and... you know.
What?
The other girl's like...
No, what? No.
Oh, relax. He wouldn't even touch you. He just wants to creep up on us. And at some point, I'll leave you and I'll go to Gary. And it would be like he's winning his mother back from his father. Yeah. Like a little boy's dream.
What are you both insane?
Come on, I really want this relationship to work. Please help.
How? By boning you in front of him?
Yes.
This is my favorite part. They pan to him.
No. What? No, no. I am not that kind of guy. No.
Yeah, you are.
I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
That's it. But that's it. So that is the proposition.
Okay, they're doing this all wrong. They're doing this all wrong.
Tell me what they're doing wrong.
Okay, well, first of all, they're doing it with like, okay, oh my God. I feel like it was more of like them pressuring him because the husband was right behind him. It felt like, and it was like these two girls are ganging up on him, essentially being like, no, you want this. No, you're doing this. No, this is like, no, you know, and then also they're saying winning their mother back from their father, which again, is this show just like, is this called white incest?
So that was more so he realized that he has kind of this kink to watch her do something, and it's because of his background, Gary, the older guy's background, as like what he saw his mom go through, right? And so it's creating some healing for him. Like we often talk about how the space can create healing because it's a lot of therapy going on.
Okay.
And so it would be therapeutic for him. So she's asking him for a favor,
Uh-huh.
right? She's already slept with him. She's asking for him to sleep with her again in front of her husband
Uh-huh.
so that he gets to be a part of it and it helps him out some.
But he basically said, fuck no.
He said hell no. Which is what that part is pretty accurate to me, right? Because what's also crazy, like how old would you guess the girl was?
32?
How old was Gary?
64?
Yeah.
Was that the first time that we saw what her partner looked like?
No, it's not the
Okay.
first time you see him.
I was like,
So,
that's
but
hilarious.
you know, like he's this wealthy older guy, and she's like
Mhm.
30 years younger than him. And so she really wants the relationship to work out because of the money.
Right.
So all that stuff is pretty accurate. That does occasionally happen.
Sure. So I can see the beauty in it being a healing process for him. I can see the beauty in portraying, you know, cuckolding in general and what that may look like for somebody or how that may be, you know, exciting for someone, or maybe somebody watches a scene like that and they're like, oh, I didn't know that that was a thing. It's something I've always fantasized about, but I never knew I could like, there was a name for it, or, you know, so I see how that could be cool. But I don't like the way that the show is portraying lifestyle.
Are they lifestyle? But they're not in lifestyle. Yeah, you're right. They're in lifestyle. They are not. They're not in lifestyle, but they are figuring out sexuality and they're fumbling over it in the way that I
Okay.
think people who weren't in it would fumble over it.
Okay, I get that. So someone who doesn't know how to navigate this and they're just kind of winging it, that makes sense. But from somebody who's been in the lifestyle for a long time and understands the etiquette of lifestyle, they're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I get frustrated, because I wouldn't want somebody to watch that and think that that's how we kind of operate. Like the fact that like I saw his discomfort immediately and I would have been like, shut it down.
Oh,
Shut
you
it
would have
down.
stopped the question.
Right.
So you don't think he's crazy for passing on it?
No, not at all. He wasn't comfortable. It was brought up and he was just like, no. And the conversation should have been fucking
I also think
over.
the way Gary was watching didn't help. So I do want to clip that part because that's when he started laughing, because the way he is, and this is what's so fun. I've never been in a situation.
You haven't?
We are gonna save that for overtime.
Okay.
I've been in something similar, and I'll talk about it on the Discord.
Okay.
But I've never been in a situation like this where it was like, hey, I want you to come in, and he's gonna sit back in that chair and just observe. I think I would feel a little awkward too. That is,
Mhm.
I've seen someone though. I've seen a friend of mine get asked to do that randomly at a bar in San Francisco by some older woman. And
Mhm.
she pointed at her husband who was wearing a cowboy hat. And I remember I was kind of like the other girl. I was like, yeah, bro, go do it. And I
Right.
didn't, because like this is before I was in the lifestyle. I just thought it'd be fun. I didn't think about it being weird.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
what are you gonna give this one out of 10? 1 being completely inaccurate and 10 being like, yep, that's how I think a new couple would screw this up.
Yeah, probably like a 9. I imagine that would, for someone that doesn't understand the etiquette of lifestyle, I could see that very much happening.
Okay. All right. We're gonna come back and do overtime about the situation that I got into and that I'm kind of still in.
I can't wait.
It is ongoing. It is a little awkward. So okay. All right. Switching shows. All right. Because apparently you hate. I think you should watch White Lotus, but
I'm
look
already
at her
annoyed.
face, people.
I'm
She
already
is so
annoyed.
annoyed by it.
Like, they were so close.
It's a great show. It is.
I was just
it
about
is-
to be like, finally, a show that's portraying. And then the second you were like, oh, they're brothers. I'm like, fucking, of course they are.
I love that they're presenting it. Okay, moving on shows. And look, spoiler alert again, people. We're moving on to a new show now. It's called Dying for Sex. I've been seeing the Hulu ads all over LA. So we started watching this. And do you know anything about the show and what it's about?
No, but I'm ready to watch it and be like, yeah, this is great. And you're like, oh, well, they're goats.
I think you're gonna love this. So this is the background of this woman in the show is that she just found out she has cancer, and she was in a boring marriage, and now she realizes she doesn't want to die without exploring her sexuality, and so she leaves her marriage and starts exploring her sexuality. Okay, and in this scene, you're gonna love this. So she has a neighbor, the place she's living now. She has a neighbor, and she like hates this neighbor because he just leaves a mess everywhere. He like leaves trash in the elevator. When he leaves trash outside his apartment, he just does not clean up. And she just getting to this point that she's like really, really pissed off about it. And she's had it. And so they have this interaction. Okay. All right. Here we go. Press play whenever you're ready.
There's trash on the floor. Look! What, you think you can just make a mess and expect that other people will clean it up?
Yeah.
Pick it up. Oh my God. You're doing what I say. Now say, I'm disgusting.
I'm disgusting.
Say it again.
I'm disgusting.
Is that him on the other side?
Yeah.
Stop it! Stop it!
Please, can I come?
No!
That's it. That's it.
Was that their first interaction with each other ever?
That was their first interaction like that. They had gotten into an argument before, but that was their first interaction. Like, so explain what you saw happening.
Okay, so I saw that she was frustrated, and as soon as she told him to pick it up, she went, oh, like that felt good. That was powerful. He listened to me. And it turned her on. And then she's like, I imagine she's like, are we on the same page here? So that's why she was like, say I'm disgusting. He does. And she's like, do it again. Because she's like, that felt really good. And yeah, like I could see the intensity of the situation. Like she was already frustrated, but then she turned that into like a sexual thing.
Yeah, it got really sexual.
Yeah.
And for him, so what's going on for him? Because that turned into like a Dom sub moment. Like it abruptly turned into Dom sub, right? And he went from fighting her to doing exactly what she said and getting turned on by. So because you've been in that space, what is happening in both their psyches in that moment?
I imagine that it probably felt really good for him for somebody to maybe put him in his place, or because I know that there's plenty of people that get off on degradation, right? Like being degraded. And do I relate to that? I don't know, maybe. I have to be in like a really intense subspace for that. But yeah, was it his first time kind of experiencing this, do you think?
And in terms of the show, it was his first time, and they just
Yeah.
kind of went for it.
Yeah, and it just happened to like they mutually at the exact same time went, "Oh, this is a thing."
Yeah.
And it was risky for both of them to be like, "All right, let's keep it going."
But is that how Dom and stuff comes up? One day you just like try it and we're like, oh man, I'm into this. This is a turn
that's
on.
how it was for me, like being like, I guess I'll give it a shot. But I also knew ahead of time, like I was going to walk into a scene. It didn't just happen accidentally, although that has happened before where I have accidentally walked into a scene,
Yeah.
and
Like-
like not realized it, but not like out in public, like at a party.
Not like in a hallway of your apartment building.
No, but honestly, I would love that.
So
I would love that.
So clearly this would be a fantasy. This would fall in your fantasy category.
Oh, hard. If there was some guy that was pissing me the fuck off and he was like some toxic masculine man and I told him to like pick that up and he just did it and I was like, tell me you're disgusting. And he said that, I'd be like, I'm in heaven. Oh yeah, I'd love it.
If he told you you're disgusting.
No. If I told him,
Oh.
say I'm disgusting, like, and he says
he
I'm
said
disgusting,
it.
like, I'd live for it. I actually think that's actually really hot.
So what would you rate this one? 0 to 10?
In terms of like relatability,
Yeah.
do I think it would happen out in the real world? I think the chances are probably like a 1 or a 2. But in regard to it probably igniting something in someone, I think that the relatability could be like a 7.
Okay. Would you say it's doing a better job depicting thus far than the previous show you just watched? Off one clip. No. That's so interesting because I've been watching more episodes. They do. We might do this on overtime. I might show you one more clip, but it gets a little bit too risque for YouTube and for Instagram. But they do get more into it. There is one when they go to a play party.
Mhm.
That's in the next episode. I think you should watch the show.
Okay.
But I want to do some updates. I want to do some updates. But one thing I do want to take from the show is one thing I love about her is that you hear her internal dialogue going through it, right? So she was like, "Oh my God, you're doing what I'm saying," and you hear her internal dialogue. And I thought it might be fun for the next, however long we have left on this episode, if anytime there's internal dialogue in your head, you have to say it.
Oh my God, I have internal dialogue in my head 24/7.
So I want to hear, especially as it pertains to me, though.
Oh, as it pertains to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so here's what we're gonna do. Like anytime the internal dialogue comes up, you have to like put this up and you have to say exactly what was going through your head at that time.
Okay.
And I want to do we want to do personal updates because we haven't talked about Clyde, the Brazil trip, but I'm already gonna use my card because I can smell you. My sense of smell.
It's the
crazy.
lotion.
Did you put the lotion on before the
It's
episode?
your favorite lotion. Yeah. That like Rio de Janeiro.
And then I've seen, and it's sitting right here. So I'm thinking, I've never actually put it on before.
You haven't put it on.
Can you show them what it is finally? Because we talked about it like 8 times.
We use it so much that it's like the words are like coming off of. Do you like my influencer hand?
It smells like it makes you want to eat someone. It makes me want to eat people.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna put some on people
put
because
some
I
on.
want to see it. And then I don't think we've ever linked it, but I'm gonna link it. And it's so funny. It's from Brazil, and so it's a perfect transition for me to talk about Brazil.
Yeah, talk about Brazil while you do it because we're running out of time.
Okay, so what do we have left? Like 6 minutes, 7 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm decided to go. I'm gonna go to Brazil. I bought my ticket, and what?
Well, I have my internal dialogue.
What?
Already, but I don't know if I can say it. But
Just go ahead and say it.
Okay. I know that I should probably do it after your update, but it's the first thing I was
It's okay.
thinking
Go
of.
for it.
My internal dialogue is that a couple of weeks ago you said you weren't going to play in Brazil at all, and then at lunch you were saying that you think you will play a little bit as long as it's like within this realm, and I think that it would be better for you if you don't play in Brazil at all.
Okay, so that is a look. God, this smells so good.
I know, I'm dying. That
Do you
smells so
smell
good.
it?
Yeah, of course I do.
Does it make you want to eat me too?
Yeah,
People, I'm telling you, get this lotion. Like, get this lotion for your wife
yeah.
or your
Or your
girlfriend or
man.
partner or yourself.
Yeah.
Just walk in and just
your
go
dog,
lay in bed
For anything.
and see what. Like, don't tell them you put it on. Just go lay in bed and see what happens, and comment and let us know how it went. I promise you, something different will happen.
It's the best.
God, it's just
So you're going to Brazil and now you're going to play.
Look, no, that's not what I said. What I said was, well, one, my wife, love you, babe, listens to the podcast, and people, I said on the last show that I would have a conversation with her about Brazil before the episode came out, and I didn't. And so she found out about my sentiment about Brazil from the show. And that was a little awkward. So we had a great conversation about it. What I'm committed to right now is I'm focusing on the party. I'm not gonna do anything like with anyone that's in the party. I'm not gonna do any no play, nothing structured, no play parties, no massage places, nothing like that. If something comes up naturally in the space, I'll have a conversation with my wife about it. But I'm not aiming for it. And then what I'm actually excited about is that I'm going to go to Buenos Aires right after that. Because people don't know this, but Simmer has been growing a lot. The design is incredible. And the designer who designed Simmer when we transitioned from Canada to Simmer is based in Argentina. And I've never met her in person. And where I'm at in Brazil is like a hour and a half flight from Argentina. And it's like a $70 flight. So I'm going to go stop in Buenos Aires and see her. And so I'm actually really pumped about it.
Is she hot?
She is hot. She's married. She actually got married yesterday.
Oh.
She got married yesterday.
Is she ENM?
They are Ian. Of course she's ENM.
Okay, yeah, no, you're Stokes.
But we are not. Layla, you know I have a rule not to play with people I work with.
We have a rule.
Layla knows this.
Rule.
I'm not gonna do
I don't ever.
Look, see now I have another conversation to have with my wife because of you. Because of you, knock it off. There's nothing's gonna happen in Argentina. But her and her husband are gonna come hang out because I haven't met either of them in person. Yes.
Yeah.
Steak dinner in Argentina. The tariffs are high here, people. So if I want Malbec from Argentina, it's cheaper for me to go to Argentina than it is for me to go to Bevmo. That's what's happening for me. All right. So I'm going.
Fine.
That is my update on Brazil.
Cool.
All right.
I have no updates on Clyde.
No updates on Clyde?
No, the last update I had that threesome and that was last week.
Okay, are you doing it again?
I don't know, maybe.
How do you not have any updates? What about your GB?
Oh yeah, I don't know. That hasn't the gangbang hasn't really been something that has been in the forefront of my mind. And I think in the moment when we started talking about it, it felt right and exciting. But at this time in my life, it doesn't feel right and it doesn't feel exciting for me right now. So I think I'm just putting it on the back burner. And when the moment feels right, I already have the list of guys ready to go. So
what does feel exciting for you? What can be a goal you can work towards on the show?
I don't know. Doming. I want to dom.
You want to dom someone? Okay.
Yeah. So I want to tap more into my dom energy. And I did that at the party when we talked about in the last episode with our two friends. And then I did it with that guy at the other party. So I'm going to another party next weekend. And I'm hoping to explore it there too. I'm going to dress like a little Disney princess. What?
I'm just not listening to you. I'm getting distracted by your shirt. You're sweating too.
Am I sweating?
Yeah, right down the middle, down your belly button. Anyway, all right. But one thing we do want to do, and we gotta be careful because we just got our Instagram back on. We want to set up a dating show for you.
Oh yeah.
We do want to set up a dating show for Layla where we have 3 different people come in and get to do a one-on-one in studio. So it's not like you're going to go out and do a date.
Right.
This is specifically non-play.
Yes.
Right? Non-play, no hooking up because she wants a poly thing. Mm-hmm. But we are going to set up a dating show for you. And so if that's something you're interested in, you should reach out to us, DM us, because we want to set that up.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh man, it's a short episode today, but
sorry,
we get to do a rant.
Oh yeah. We'll finish with a rant.
We do get to do a rant.
Which rant am I gonna pick?
It's so funny because you want us to talk about reality TV dating shows.
Oh, perfect. This is perfect.
All right.
Okay, want me to go?
Yep. You have 1 minute starting now. Go.
All right, I'm gonna get off for a minute. I think that The Bachelor, Love Island, Temptation Island, there's all these reality TV shows, and how often do we hear people say, oh, I didn't know that I could fall in love with one person. I've heard that so many fucking times. And so why don't they just do a poly dating show? Or why don't they just do a non-monogamous dating show? Or isn't that proof and evidence enough that human beings aren't meant to be monogamous? Because there is a possibility where at the end of the season of The Bachelor, this man is like, oh, I love both of these women. You could have them both if you wanted. If you wanted them both, you could have them both. But society is making you believe that you can only pick one. That's so boring. Anyway, so I've been watching a lot of reality TV lately, and I just keep hearing, oh my God, I just never knew that I could fall in love with. I'm just like so over it. I don't ever want to hear that line again, because everyone can fall in love with more than one person, and that's okay, and that's natural, and it's not something that you should feel
That's
bad
time.
about.
You're done. You're done. You're
Okay.
done. That was your best rant. That was
Thank
your best.
you.
We
I
rant
know.
like this we rant like this all the time. We just wanted to get off on the podcast. All right.
I got off so
Which
good.
one am I gonna do? All right. This is one of my big pet peeve. Okay. All right. I'm going racial with this one, you people.
Talking to the mic.
I'm okay.
That's
We're going
my
racial
pet
here, people. All right. Just for a second. I'm gonna play a race card. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I go to your house and you're playing either Afro house or Afro beats, and the DJ is not Afro at all, right? So it's like Kygo plays Afro beats from Antarctica on a cruise ship. It's and like one time I actually did grab the remote and I was like, if we're gonna listen to Afro beats, we are going to play it from some DJ in Nigeria, where they like embrace the culture too. It annoys the hell out of me when people take the music but not the culture that made it. So my request is that we use the button clicks that we have in us and support the artists that have created the movement. Please, please, I love Kygo, but he don't need more views. He doesn't need it. Give it to the Ghanans and the Kenyans and the Nigerians that are creating the culture. That's it. That's it. That's my request. Rant complete. Okay.
Great. I like it. I like that one. That was a nice one.
Thank you. I feel
Yeah.
like I made a difference in the world there
I
for a
think so.
second.
I feel different.
Thank you. Will you click an artist of color next time you play Afro beats?
I think
or
I
Afro
will.
house?
I think I will. I think I will.
Thank you. And tell your kids Uncle
Yeah.
Brian said so.
I will tell them.
Okay. That is it for today. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Masked Swingers. Soon to be unmasked. Soon to be unmasked. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until we see you next time, try something or try someone new.
Ooh.